Alright, so I'm working on mounting my new amp. It's made by Skar. It's an 800 watt RMS amp at 1 ohm, 600 RMS at 4 ohms, I believe. Got the front seat sitting in the back seat, but that's kind of where I've got it set to mount, and then I'll get it all screwed in, mounted to the floor, wired up, and hopefully I'll actually be able to hear my subs that you can kind of see under there, under all the mess. So I already did all of the figuring, and I didn't video record this because it's really hard to see, but I just had the seat mounted where it was and then moved it as far forward and as far backwards as I could and made sure that the amp did not hit on anything. If somebody's sitting on it, it probably will hit, but you're not going to be adjusting the seat too much with somebody sitting on it, so I'm not too worried about it, let alone the fact that I'm short and it always stays in one position. But it can go as far back as it wants and still clear, and it gives me ample room to run all the wires. Alright, I'm sorry for the way the video came out because it's just going to end up being, that's kind of where I think I'm going to put it, and here it is, but that's the way it's going. Because most of it's just running wires and cleaning them up and adjusting settings. So you can kind of see how I've got it set up here. I've got my RCAs and my remote bass knob routed, zip tied, kind of corralled as best as I could, and then I'll take you over and show you the other side. And here's the other side. So the red wire is actually my ground cable, and then the blue wire is my power coming in, and then I've got my 4 different sub box wires, and everything except the red wire is all Knu Koncepts, spelled with 2 Ks. Either way, I can put a link, but either way, kit came out really slick. I really like it. Works that all the blue matches the blue of the truck, and the red wire was just a cable I had laying around. The kit came with one, but this had the proper eyelet for me to ground through a bolt that I found. I ended up using the bolt for the seat belts because the seat belts move independently of how tight the bolt is torqued. So I grounded through there. I'm only pushing 600 RMS, so I'm not enough to need to have a dedicated ground, and it hits pretty good. Definitely adds a very full sound quality sound to the overall sound system of the truck, and I'm quite pleased. The one other thing I forgot to video is where I mounted the bass control knob, or the remote bass knob. Either way, I mounted it right here with some 3M double-sided tape, so that way I could take it off if I ever needed it, but it's just down below the radio controls, and my hope is a clean look. Granted, all the wires that go to and fro it definitely don't help with the cleanliness of it, but it's something. And in case you guys are wondering, you can almost see it in the contour of the carpet. I basically ran the wires from here straight to the door pillar to give me a little bit of excess for if I ever need to move this or remove it, just so that I have some to play with. Ran it down the door there, all the way up, and then for the RCA remote wire, remote bass knob, I came to just below the head unit or to the head unit. For the power wire, I came and went through the firewall in a hole I drilled, and then I went to a solenoid I used that's I toggled on to have power only when the key is on, so that way it turns on with the key, and so it's not constantly powered. And then the 4 wires for the subs go back there to the sub box. They run underneath the carpet and then come up the back as well, with enough slack that if I ever need to move them, I have the room to do so. As far as the ground, I just went right to the seatbelt bolt because it's not going to interfere with any of the safety aspects of the seatbelt. So, in case anybody wants to set up an amp similar to how I did, or do a sound system similar to what I have in here, you can kind of see the sub box there. Hopefully this helps. If not, it's a great video log for me as to what I've done on Babe. Hope you guys enjoy. There's the 200 amp Cole Hersee constant duty solenoid that I use to turn on the power for my aftermarket accessories fuse box, as well as the amp power it's got a ignition power source to toggle it on, and then the other small leg is a ground. The other large leg goes directly to the battery.